Greetings to respected examiners and viewers. My name is Keila Putrikakalih Herawan. In this opportunity, I would like to present my thesis with the title of An Analysis of Internationalization Potential Using the OLI Framework, a case study of Otno Limited Company in Indonesia. This research was conducted as part of my master's degree at Universitas Gadjah Mada under the supervision of Ibu Sari Sitalaksmi, MMGT, PhD. First, I will start with the background of the study. Retail is a key global economic sector, with internationalization or international expansion as one of the major drivers of growth and competitiveness. The destination of international expansion varies, but emerging markets have been widely targeted by firms around the world due to their investment opportunities and growth potential. Indonesia, as an emerging market, presents strong appeal with its retail industry that is valued at 46.3 billion US dollars in 2022 and is projected to reach over 71 billion US dollars in 2031. The strong FDI appeal is contributed by various factors such as large population, growing middle class, increasing urbanization, and internet penetration. In addition, around 50% of Indonesia's GDP is contributed by household consumption, which is driven by the retail industry. These factors have attracted numerous foreign investors to enter the market, including Chengdu Otele Commercial Management or Otno Limited Company, which will be referred to as Otno throughout this presentation. Otno is a Chinese discount retail company founded in Chengdu in 2021. After 3 years of operating, the company has opened more than 250 stores across China, and it is currently aiming to replicate its success abroad and plans to enter Indonesia as its first international market. However, despite the opportunities, the Indonesian market is complex and also presents some challenges, which have caused some international retailers like Lotte Mart, Giant, and GS Supermarket to close some of their stores, even exit the market. Therefore, a comprehensive analysis is needed to guide Otno before making its market entry decision. Additionally, there is also limited studies that use the OLI framework, which stands for Ownership, Location, and Internalization, to analyze market feasibility of new foreign retail entrants in Indonesia. This presents a gap in the literature in which this study aims to fill. Based on the problem statement in the previous slide, there are 3 research questions of this study, which are: 1, what ownership advantages does Otno have that could support its market entry into Indonesia? 2, what are location-specific factors in the Indonesian retail industry that make it a viable market for Otno's expansion? And 3, what internalization advantages can Otno leverage to efficiently manage its operation in Indonesia? And following the research questions, there are 3 research objectives of this study, which are: 1, to analyze the ownership advantages that Otno has that could support its market entry into Indonesia, and 2, to analyze the location-specific factors in the Indonesian retail industry that make it a viable market for Otno's expansion, and 3, to analyze the internalization advantages that Otno can leverage to efficiently manage its operation in Indonesia. This research is expected to bring various research benefits. The practical benefits are such as: 1, provides insights for Otno's first internationalization. 2, informs Indonesian policymakers to create a more welcoming environment for foreign investment. 3, suggests strategies for successful internationalization. And meanwhile, the academic benefits are: 1, enriched understanding of international business strategy. 2, broadened understanding of internationalization of foreign retailers in Indonesia. And lastly, confirms relevance of the OLI framework. And the scope of this research is focused and specific. As it is a case study of Otno, it of course only analyzes Otno and looks only at Indonesia as the destination of the international expansion. And next, I will talk about the literature review. As the study assessed the internationalization of a retail company, I will first explain the definition of retail internationalization, which is increasing the scope and scale of international operations, such as opening stores in other countries. And this study applies OLI framework to assess internationalization potential of Otno, which it is a model that assesses the factors influencing a firm's initial act of foreign production. It comprises of 3 components: first, ownership advantages, and then location advantage and internalization advantage. Ownership advantages refer to firm-specific resources that provide competitive advantage in international markets, and this study uses resource-based view theory with VRIN, valuable, rare, inimitable, non-substitutable indicators to assess the ownership advantages of Otno. Ownership advantages are such as physical and financial assets, brand identity, and human resources. And then location advantages such as refers to attractiveness and location-specific factors of internationalization destination. And this study uses pastel analysis that stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal to assess the location advantages of Indonesia. And location advantages are such as infrastructure and natural resources that available in the country. And internalization advantages refers to firm's ability to internalize its ownership advantages to reduce and improve transaction cost value. And it also refers to entry mode, such as wholly owned subsidiary, franchising, and joint venture. And here is the framework that is used to guide this research. The framework is adapted from Sudarsanam and Welch et al., as cited in Morshed et al. The model presents the evaluation of ownership, location, and internalization. So first, ownership advantages are assessed by using the RBV theory and frame indicators. Then location advantages are assessed by using pastel analysis. And lastly, internalization advantages is assessed. Based on the analysis, the internationalization potential can be discovered. Now, to understand better about the subject of this study, I will introduce you to Otno. As I mentioned earlier, Otno is founded in Chengdu, China in 2021. Despite being relatively new, it has rapidly grown to over 250 stores across 8 provinces in China, giving it reputation of Q-King as it has sparked boom among Chinese customers. The company operates approximately with 80 staff in its headquarters in Chengdu across 5 departments, which are supply chain, technology, operations, finance, and brand marketing and human resources. The company focuses on opening its stores in second and third tier cities in China. And Otno is a hard discount retail store that sells cosmetics, snacks, and lifestyle products. They sell its products in low price points, around 20 to 50% lower than other retailers in the market. This can be achieved as it has streamlined supply chain and product strategy. The target market of the company is women aged 20 to 40. In China, its average sales are around 2 million Chinese yuan per month per store, which allows them to get the return within 1 month of opening each store. So what makes them interested to expand internationally and specifically to enter Indonesia? First, they have a huge growth ambition and aspiration to go global. Otno's business model is scalable, allowing them to expand rapidly. The company is also entering its pre-initial public offering phase, which internationalization presents a valuable narrative to boost its valuation. Second, the discount retail store market in China has become more saturated with intense competition that even caused some of its rivals to exit the market. And third, Indonesian retail market is very attractive with its large market and high demand for cost-efficient products. Moving on to the research method, this study adopted a qualitative case study research method. There were 2 kinds of data that were collected, which were primary and secondary data. Primary data were collected through in-depth interviews with company's management, executives from Otno, the CEO and the vice president, regulators from Indonesia's Ministry of Trade and Indonesia's Ministry of Investment and Downstream Industry, and then industry expert from Nielsen IQ. And secondary data were collected through market reports, news articles, and academic literature. And there were 3 different interview protocols that were developed, each adjusted based on the subject, and the questions were structured by OLI framework. And data then analyzed, which involved several phases, which were compiling, disassembling, reassembling, and arraying, interpreting, and concluding. And of course, validity was ensured through methods such as rich data, respondent validation, triangulation, searching for discrepant evidence, use of numbers, and comparison. And this is the findings and discussions of the research. So for the first research questions, it is found that Otno possesses ownership advantages in the form of first, precise targeting and customer-centric strategy. Otno focuses on young female customers aged 20 to 40 and created their offerings based on this target market, such as selling affordable skincare and cosmetics. This strategy matches the rising demand among Indonesian women. They also sell emotionally driven intellectual property merchandise, which has been proven effective by Miniso in the Indonesian market, along with strong data insights. This further supports the effectiveness of Otno's approach. And second, vertically integrated global supply chain. Otno has the strategy of cutting intermediary costs, such as distributor, and offering a wide product range with fewer stock keeping units per category that allows the economies of scale while simplifying inventory and boosting turnover. And third, digital-driven and operational excellence and organizational agility. Odno implements automation such as self-checkout counters. It also implements decentralized decision-making, which reduces labor costs, increases operational efficiency, and adapts quickly to local market dynamics. These capabilities are particularly valuable in an emerging market like Indonesia, where affordability and responsiveness are crucial. And for the second research questions, the finding shows that Indonesia offers favorable location advantages. First, in the political factor, Indonesia has strong diplomatic ties with other countries and pro-investment stance. On the other hand, the transitional phase of the new government, illegal levies, and geopolitical tensions present some risks. Economically, Indonesia's strong economic fundamentals, large consumer base, and affordable labor make it an attractive market for Odno. And while recent signs of economic instability and low labor productivity present challenges, they also highlight the importance of Odno's cost-efficient, value-focused model. Socially, while consumers remain optimistic and consumptive, they are also highly price conscious and favor affordable yet satisfying purchases. This is an ideal match for Odno's discount retail model. At the same time, the strong preference for local brands means Odno must localize its offerings and branding strategy to resonate with the market. And technologically, Indonesia's rapidly growing digital landscape and online shopping trend present clear opportunities for Odno to combine a proprietary online platform with marketplace like Tokopedia and Shopee to enhance their reach. Environmentally, there is growing environmental awareness from the consumers and also initiative from the governments. This presents opportunity for Odno to enhance brand value through green practices to strengthen its competitive position in the Indonesian market. And legally, while Indonesia has supportive investment regulations, some regulations are reportedly more complicated in practice, and some policies also favor more local and small-scale retailers, which may present barriers for large foreign entrants like Odno. So navigating these challenges may require strategic alignment. And as for the third research question, Odno has several internal capabilities that are leverageable, which are its strong financial position, digital infrastructure, operational capabilities, and integrated supply chain, which forms the foundation of its internalization advantage. This enables the company to retain control of core business functions and operate their own stores in Indonesia rather than licensing them out. And as for the potential entry mode, Odno has a phased market strategy, starting with the wholly owned subsidiary, then moving to joint ventures and local agents, and eventually franchising. This demonstrates an effort to balance control and local adaptation. In conclusion, Odno possesses strong ownership advantages for internationalization. Indonesia offers location advantages that enables Odno to operate in the country, and Odno also has strong internalization advantages that enable the company to expand through phased FDI. All in all, the company holds promising potential for internationalization into Indonesia with the right preparation and strategic coordination. And this research has several implications. The practical ones are: first, it helps Odno assess and prepare for entry into Indonesia. Second, highlights key local factors for Odno to consider. And third, it suggests policy improvements to support foreign investment in Indonesia. Meanwhile, the academic implications are: first, this research contributes to research on retail internationalization in Indonesia. It reinforces all the framework relevant in emerging markets. And lastly, offers reference for future related studies. And however, this study, of course, have some limitation that should be taken into account for future research. First, this research was conducted remotely. There's no on-site observation and limited depth in online interviews, which caused the lack of depth of contacts. And second, due to confidentiality concerns, financial reports could not be disclosed by Odno, which limit financial analysis. And third, the study was unable to secure an interview with representative from Aprindo, which is a retail association, which could have provided more comprehensive insights for this research. Therefore, the recommendation for the future studies are to include on-site visits and in-person interviews to get richer contextual understanding. Second, incorporate financial data for deeper analysis. And third, engage more industry stakeholders for broader insights. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.